The harder you look, the less you see, for this is the trick that fooled Houdini. Houdini picked a card by simply saying stop. He remembered the card's value and placed it second from the top. However, Vernon snaps his fingers and gives the deck a drop. He waves his hands over the cards, and Houdini's selection is now on top. The trick was repeated. Houdini's card was submersed. It is placed second from the top, but now it is the first. Vernon then took Houdini's card and right before his eyes placed it into the middle of the deck and tells Houdini that it will rise. Houdini's card was then bent to make it easier to see. It is placed into the middle of the deck, but jumps to the top on the count of 1, 2, 3. In order to do this trick, you're going to need a double backer. This is a card that looks the same on the front and on the back. To make one of these, simply take 2 cards and stick them together like this. Or you can buy one off the internet, which is only 1 card thick, like I have done. To start, place the double backer on the top of the deck and let the spectator pick a card. Take their card and tell them that you're going to place it second from the top. Slide in their card and you can display it going in by turning over your hand. As the cards are squared up, you're going to need to perform a double lift. This is when you turn over 2 cards as one. So whilst it only looks like the Queen of Spades is showing, in reality 2 cards were just turned over. There are lots of different ways to perform double lifts, such as peeling off 2 cards and displaying the selection. You can also slide off 2 cards like this. The double lift is a very deceptive move that you need to learn, and I'll link a tutorial down below. Once you've turned over both cards, you can cleanly display their card by itself on the top of the deck, showing both sides. You then have to perform another double lift and turn over the double backer and their selection. Now take the double backer, which they think is their card, and put it second from the top. Push it in, snap your fingers, and reveal that their card has jumped to the top. The next part is probably the most difficult. You need to shift all the cards forward except the bottom one, and then you need to shift all the cards back again, catching a thumb break. I'll show you that again. So shift all the cards forward except the bottom one, and then slide all the cards back, catching a thumb break. Now you need to swing cut across the top portion of the deck whilst retaining the break. What you're going to do now is push forward their selection and drop the card that you just got a break under. So push forward their card and drop the selection, but at the same time turn over your hand to hide the fact that you've just deposited a card. This is what it looks like at full speed. You push forward their card and turn your hand over to display their selection. Now fan out the cards and push in their selection. It looks like you are now putting their card into the fan, but really it's the card that you just dropped onto the top of the deck that's going into the fan. Square up the deck and show that their card has risen to the top. The final thing you're going to do now is a double lift with their selection and the double backer that is underneath it. Perform the double lift by turning over 2 cards as one. So you've got 2 cards here, and make sure that they stick together when you turn them over. And then when you bend them, apply pressure on both the top and bottom of the card and put it back onto the top of the deck. Then apply pressure with your first finger to both of the cards. Now cut the deck and slide over the double backer onto the portion of the deck that you just cut. Place the rest of the deck on top and now tell the spectator that their card is now bent in the middle of the deck. Keep pressure with your first finger on the top card. Now transfer the pressure to your thumb and fingers in your right hand. You will notice that when you release this pressure, it will look like the card just popped up to the top of the deck. So release the pressure and the card will look like it's popped up. After doing that, turn over the top card and reveal that their card has jumped to the top of the deck.